And I am your host, Christopher Fox, along with the greatest co-host in all the land, Mr. Roop. There it is. How are you doing, Mr. Roop?
I am doing fantastic, so much so that I think we have a great show for you. Even more so, I'm excited about the college chaos, and I have something special planned for later, so stay tuned for that. And if you're like me, where you did some research and this week you sat Derrick Henry, um, don't worry, I won all my leagues. I won all my leagues. But here's the reason why I sat Derrick Henry. Okay, in 2018 when they played the Bills, he had 56 yards. 2019 he had 78. In 2020 he had 57. And I put in because I told all of you who I was picking up, Khalil Herbert over him. Just to put it on there
And
because I
Herbert
told
didn't do bad.
yeah, so I didn't do bad. So I told you I was going to go pick up and make sure I had Derrick Henry or Hunter Henry, Khalil Herbert, Zach Ertz. All of them got touchdowns.
They all did
All of them,
well.
I was picking them up, and you should have listened. Even Ramondre Stevenson got a touchdown, and I told you to watch out for. Now that everybody has eyes on him, you got to watch. Oh, and sorry about the Bills, by the way. I picked them up. They got like 2 points. You know what? It's fine. They're the number one defense, but that's how I'm doing. I sat Derrick Henry. I still won, but uh, he's still a beast, and I love it. I'm glad he's on my team. But how is the wonderful host doing?
Well, fantasy-wise, not so well. I lost everything except one uh, because I here's the problem. So this is the thing that I hate about the show, and I don't hate anything about this show, but I give out all the information, I give out all the secrets, and everybody uses it, including the people I'm playing against, and so I will win a week and I need to hit waivers, and I can't because I lost. The good news is that I lost this week, so with all these bye weeks coming up, I'm going to get first dibs on all these waiver picks we're about to tell you about. So that is the upside of losing my fantasy week. But you're absolutely right. We told you to go for Herbert if you're going to go for somebody, and he did pretty dang good. We never told you not to go for Williams. We said don't waste a lot of money on him, and Williams did pretty good. But again, don't expect that kind of output every week. But hey, it paid off if you did go for him. But hopefully you saved some fab money because you're going to need it this week with all these teams on bye. Big teams on bye week this week. Dallas on bye week, Chargers on bye week, Bills, Minnesota. I mean, we've got some big names, and a lot of people are carrying Jacksonville guys. With Chenault, people are streaming the tight end Arnold. Of course, Jones has just been balling, and so even Jacksonville is affecting people. I don't think there's a team on bye week this week that isn't going to cost somebody a couple players. And most of the input, people are losing 3, 4, 5 players. Yeah, I definitely have teams like that. So you know how we do here. We don't waste your time. We don't yak around too much. We like to yak about football. So we're going to jump right into it. We always start at the quarterback position. Quarterback position loaded if you want it. I mean, there are so many quarterbacks out there to grab that I ran out of room on my sheet. But let's get into it. So Sam Darnold available 9% of the leagues. Not his best performance this week, but look, he's got the Giants coming up, 25th worst right in the league. Atlanta 29th worst in the league. New England 12th worst in the league. That's the quarterbacks. The Giants, again, 24th to receivers. Atlanta, 17th receivers, 12th again for New England. The setup is there. The nice thing about Darnold is you don't have to stream him for just a week. He will actually give you some dividends for the next few weeks, especially with C-Mac coming back the next week or two, probably back for Atlanta, maybe not the Giants. But, I mean, Sam Darnold is set up for success and available in 49% of the leagues.
I am not too high on Sam Darnold right now because I was hoping that he wouldn't score anything. And I think up until the last two drives last week, he had like 5 points along with DJ Moore. And I was playing both of them, by the way. And of course, the last two drives, they started going off. I think they got another 10, 15, 20 points all the way on those last two drives. It drove me nuts, but they saved their fantasy day. So if they are going to be playing like that, we're going to be playing from behind. I mean, Sam Darnold is going to get it done, but why did he wait for the fourth quarter to get it? I don't know why.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
and Rob
he's
Toothman
doing it.
from Carolina, he's having too much fun out there, I guess.
Yeah.
He said I better, because I told him, he listened to the show last week. I said, get Zach Ertz. He did it. He said, this better work out. I'm going to watch it religiously. And here he is, because we are giving you the right information. At least, 90%.
Almost 90% of the time, we're giving you the right pickups. That's pretty darn good. You're welcome, Rob. Hey, look, I picked up Ertz as well, and I was so glad that I did, especially with Knox putting up his horrible performance last night. It was bound to happen. But I actually played Kelsey and Knox just because of the bye weeks and way stuff fell out. But it paid off having Ertz. Ertz did fantastic. Look, another quarterback that's set up for you. I can just keep going with these quarterbacks, and I'm going to kind of rip through them. Look, Daniel Jones. After the concussion, people were worried about him. A lot of people dropped him, but he was still killing it before then, and he's about to start killing it again. Available in almost 37% of leagues. He's got Carolina coming up, 19 for giving up 19th to best to quarterbacks. Excuse me. Kansas City, 31st out of 32. Is a game after that, and then they got Las Vegas, so you may or may not want to play that. But Jones again is balling once he gets the receivers out. He's still doing great. Tony is still going to be out until the Kansas City game, but what a great game to come back in. We told you to lay off Tony. We hope you did lay off Tony, because of course that early exit cost you some fab money. And then he's not going to play next week as well. So but Daniel Jones is prime to make you some money. Heineke available in 36% of leagues. Got Green Bay next. If you're looking for a quarterback just this week because you need to replace somebody, Heineke is the man. They got Green Bay. They're 16th. They're letting quarterbacks put up some numbers, and with the team performing the way they are, Heineke can get you through this week. Wentz is still out there. He's only 27%. Wentz had a fantastic day. We're going to be talking more about Indianapolis players this week. Got San Francisco, who's 23rd worst against quarterbacks, Tennessee 28th, and then they play the Jets. So the next 2 weeks, Wentz is going to help you out, and we're going to talk about how he's going to help you out even more when we get to these next positions. I got two more. I call these the picks of the week for a quarterback. Look, these are the guys. Grab these guys, okay? Number one, this Thursday, Teddy Bridgewater, guys putting up points. He's balling. Cleveland giving up 30th worst or best, I guess in this case, to quarterbacks, 26th best to wide receivers. People are balling out against this defense. Cleveland just lost another linebacker on defense. People are just scoring on these guys for fantasy-wise, and Bridgewater is ready to go. Sutton's killing. Patrick should perform well this week. And it's Thursday, and we know our Thursday players are balling out, and Bridgewater, grab him. He will carry you this week when you lost that quarterback, lost Dak, lost Allen, etc. to the bye week. Bridgewater is a fantastic stream for a week. And the other one I'm going to mention is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan available in almost 43% of leagues. The guy's putting up 29 points and 22 points over the last two. He's got Miami coming up next. We're giving 22nd worst to quarterbacks, 30th worst to wide receivers. He's getting over 300 yards a game. Miami's given up 300 yards a game over the last couple, 2.2 touchdowns per game. That's over the entire season. Matt Ryan's got Cordell, who's just balling right now. He's getting Gage back. Pitts just balled out last week. I mean, they're finally starting to get it together fantasy-wise for you. So Atlanta is a nice pick this week, a nice stream when you're missing those bye week quarterbacks.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, although there's a little foot issue right now from practice and coming up on the radar, but just watch it because we know that Thursday players defense seems to be a little, I don't know, tired for some reason. But you're right. People are scoring on Cleveland a lot, and they got some injuries on all sides of the ball. It could get pretty ugly over there. It just, who knows what's going to happen. And Matt Ryan just came off a bye week. He's kind of rested. He might just come out and ball out again. I kind of hope he does because I need Kyle Pitts to score me some points this week.
There you go. Might be the week to do it. We're going to be talking more about Cleveland as it goes. Judy, close but not ready to come back yet. So it's Sutton and Stream Patrick this week, and we'll talk about that when we get back to our wide receivers. But Judy, not quite ready, but if he's available out there, you might let him hold a roster spot probably after this week because you're probably replacing a lot of players for week 6. So a lot of quarterbacks out there. Darnold can get you more than one game. Jones is going to get you more than one game. Wentz is going to get you more than one game. Bridgewater is probably going to get you more than one game. And Matt Ryan's probably going to get you more than one game. But a great stream, and Heineke, if everyone else is gone, can help you out at quarterback this week, replacing some of those top guys that are on bye week. That takes us into the running back position. Running back, always thin, especially if you're in a deep league. I saw that Stevenson is actually rostered in like 11% of leagues already for New England, and he started off. So you know there's deep leagues competing for running back. Stevenson is an interesting look because he had a good week. He hasn't had great weeks. Damian Harris still had over 100 yards. He's still getting the ball. Normally, on a normal week, I would say leave Stevenson alone. However, because everybody is so short, because you've got all these bye weeks, Stevenson is a decent add for this week. He'll probably get some work with White still out, and they've got the Giants who are dead last against the run. So expect Harris and Stevenson both to get some work this week.
Yeah, we told you last week to go pick up, if not watch, Stevenson before he's on everybody's radar. And guess what? He's on everybody's radar. If anybody watched or they check or they see that, you know, what he's projected, you know, it keeps upticking. And we told you this we said 4 weeks ago or so that you're going to figure out what these players are doing around this time of the year. And when the bye week starts, you're going to know. So you have to have your teams ready, set. So when you come to the bye weeks, your bench can kind of move into your starting position. Might not be the greatest, but it's better than what's out there. And now everybody's showing their true colors, and it's very limited on some of these positions that the pickups are not going to be great. And that's what you're here. You're here to ask questions, who you're picking up, the trades that are coming up, who should you trade for, anything, who to start, anything like that. Because right now, honestly, I think I have most of my team set because I don't like what's out there. But I'm probably going to hang back this week personally because I've been listening to our own advice, and the host was giving me some great advice. Appreciate that. And so because of that, I'm trying to wait and see who drops what this week because they may be panicking. They may be 0 something or you know, running a little less than 500. And I'm just going to wait for them to drop that one player that might be on bye. And I'm just going to say, okay, I know who I'm going for, or even wait to pick up next week. But I am going to pump the brakes a little bit on picking up too many players this week.
Yeah.
Because
the thing is that everybody's going to be picking up players this week because of those 6 teams. And we just got a question in: should I drop Mayfield and pick up another QB? Absolutely, drop Mayfield. Let's get into this. So we'll go to the Cleveland running backs because everybody's looking at them. We'll talk a little bit about Cleveland. Look, Mayfield has a dislocated left shoulder. He says he's going to play. He had shoulder surgery this week to deal with that thing. Now the NFL, they've got magical painkillers, and he's going to be out there. He says he's going to be out there. But let me tell you what, he's been sacked 18 times this year. Mayfield's been sacked 18 times. You can expect him to take a couple sacks. Someone comes on that left side and pops him enough times on that left side, he's going out. Case Keenum's coming in. With Mayfield hurt, you expect to see some run, but they're playing against Denver, who has a pretty number 4 against the run. So they're going to be ready for this run. They need a passer in there, and if Mayfield can't stick it out, and he's not that high on I think he's QB 24 with the pass. Cleveland's receiving core is decimated. OBJ is out. Landry is not looking to be back in. We're going to talk about Peoples-Jones when we get to the wide receivers, if he's a good or bad choice to pick up this week. But to answer your question about Mayfield, absolutely pick up a different quarterback. We just ran through some great ones. Arnold, Jones, Bridgewater, and Ryan are my two top picks at quarterback because they're going to get you more than one game, and they've got fantastic matchups coming up. Heineke you can stream for a week. Wentz you can get 2 weeks out of. So there are quarterbacks out there. Yes, you should drop Mayfield and pick up another quarterback. Absolutely. And I would not go back to Mayfield if you can help it, to be honest. He's too far down the list unless your league is like 2 QB or you're just really, really deep. So as we're on this running back subject, D'Ernest, you've got D'Ernest and you've got, I think it's Felton is the other one. D'Ernest is your main guy. Felton might get in on some running passes, receiving plays and stuff like that, assuming Mayfield can even throw the ball. You're very welcome. Thank you for your question. Keep them coming, guys. And so if you're going to go for one of these Cleveland guys, D'Ernest is the guy you want, first off. Secondly, Mayfield has a dislocated shoulder, so that tells you you're looking at a lot more run plays. Even though it's on the left side, Mayfield played through it last week and did just fine. But again, with those 18 sacks, how long is Mayfield going to be in there? Case Keenum comes in, more run plays, but Denver's already fourth against the run. They've had some bad games, but not really against the run. It's more of the secondary. So, and when you know that Mayfield is hurt, you know that Case Keenum may come in, I promise you they're going to be playing the run, and they're going to be playing it hard this Thursday.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Ernest Johnson, the running back for Cleveland, is looking like he's going to get his first career start. He is a sleeper. He's deep. He's down the list. He might not even be on the first page of your laptop. This is going to be something that if your running backs are on a bye or you need a filler, this is a good spot. He is going to get the start. It's a Thursday game. It is against Denver, so it isn't the greatest matchup, but you're looking at a beat-up quarterback, wide receiver core. He's going to get the workload as long as Denver's not tossing it like we said. But Denver is going to be throwing some touchdowns. Hopefully, that's what's going to happen against Cleveland. That's what's been happening the whole time. So be careful. It's a great pickup, but for the matchup, they might be playing from behind. And unless Ernest Johnson's catching 15 targets in a PPR league, that's what's going to benefit you. Because I don't know if they're going to be able to just run the ball all over Denver. I don't see it happening.
No.
Also sat Derrick Henry for stats, and that didn't really technically pay off. But
yeah,
we got to.
And the thing is, with D'Ernest, with Denver stacked in the box, how much everybody's looking at D'Ernest. So if you're in a fab situation, you're going to have to spend a lot of your fab money, and it's just not worth it for 1 week. Chubb will probably be back next week. It's just a short week. If this wasn't a short week, Chubb would probably be back. So he's going to be back after this. You're only going to get 1 week out of D'Ernest. It's not worth the fab dollars to take him and chance it, even if it is a Thursday game against this Denver defense. And look, guys, if D'Ernest goes out there and kills it and gets 19 points or something like that, I apologize. But again, it's for the week. I've got better picks for you coming up. We talked about Stevenson. Under normal circumstances, I would say no. This week, go ahead and take Stevenson. If you're just replacing him for a bye week pick, they're playing against the league's worst run defense, the Jets. So Stevenson, even partnering with Harris, probably still get you some work. A lot of people looking at Drake, Kenyon Drake, again, under a normal circumstance, I would say stay away from Drake. Yes, he got 2 touchdowns, but before that, he's had 0 touchdowns for the entire season. He had 1 point. He had 0 points. He had 9 points over the last 3. I think he barely got in the double, like 11, 12 over weeks 1, week 2. Again, no touchdowns. That's PPR. These are PPR points, folks. Philly next week, who are giving out 118 yards and 4.5 touchdowns on average per game. So those aren't horrible numbers. So if you need to, you can probably get a week out of Drake. Just understand that Jacobs is playing fantastic. He's getting better, and he has to share. Drake's going to have to share with that. So don't expect a lot. He's fine if you have the space and availability to fill that buy spot, and there's none of these other guys here. But again, under normal circumstances, probably not Drake. We got a question. What about dropping Wilson? I have faith in him, but I don't know if I just need to put him on my bench and wait for him to get better. For me, I have him in a couple leagues. He is on my bench. He will stay on my bench because I am not willing to lose him once he gets back. It's just a finger. He even played with that finger. I think he'll come back. I think he'll be fine with those weapons. DK Lockett, Chris Carson will be back by then. I'm hanging on to Wilson unless you just absolutely have to fill that space. And a quarterback is a space that you fill on bye week. Unless if you have too many people to replace, then don't worry about it. Just take the L this week, keep your roster, and move forward from there. But I would I'm keeping Wilson on my bench. Depending on if I've got Allen and Wilson, I can go ahead and part with Wilson to make space. But I'm keeping Wilson myself.
Yeah, I actually would keep Wilson. Obviously, it depends on your quarterback need and whatnot, but you have to understand something. There is a team out there that needs a quarterback, and they have space on their bench because their bench is garbage. And they're going to, as soon as you drop that player, they're going to go pick him up.
Yeah, you're not getting him back. If you drop him, do that with the understanding you're not getting him back. If you drop him, he's gone for good.
Or at least wait till Sunday and then use Fab to get him back after the bye week. But
possibly,
it's a risk. But is it really worth it? Could you drop somebody else, kind of fill in maybe, or even put, if you're in a 2-quarterback league or the super flex, put a wide receiver in there or elite running back of some sort and just kind of fill it for the week's being.
Yeah, I would hang on to Wilson. Thank you for the question. Keep them coming, guys. And we'll keep running with these running backs. So Stevenson, probably worth a week. Drake, maybe worth a week. The Ernest, I wouldn't waste the money. It's not that he's not necessarily worth it this week, but the Ernest is going to cost you a lot of fab for 1 week of play because Chubb will be back. A lot of people are telling you to go for McKissick. Again, under normal circumstances, I would say don't go for McKissick, but 6 teams on bye week, you might need a filler. He may not have to share with Gibson. Gibson's injury has not been designated yet. They're still trying to figure out what's going on with that. So you're going to need to watch Gibson. It doesn't help with your waiver pickup. Someone's probably going to pick him up. But if you want to take a chance on McKissick, he did have 10 receptions. They do have Kansas City coming up. Kansas City is 28th in the league for running backs on receptions. And then they've got Green Bay after that, who is 19th on receptions. So you might get some, again, in these 6-team bye week situations, McKissick might be someone that you could float if you had to, because you're missing, and I definitely, you guys have told us, I'm missing RB1, RB2, and my backup this week. I'm missing RB1, RB2, wide receiver 1, my tight end 1. So these are situations where you might have to stream these deep guys like McKissick or Drake, and it could pay off this week. Even if Gibson does play, he's probably still going to split time just like last week, and so McKissick's going to get you points. I would still take Stevenson first. Stevenson would be my top guy to take this week. I could put McKissick number 2. I tie him with Drake, flip a coin, but I'd probably take McKissick over Drake at this point as well. Other than that, you're going to need to watch Collins up in Seattle. Collins did get hurt. It's going to depend on if he plays or not. If Collins ends up going on IR, then Rashad Penny could be a good pickup because Rashad Penny will be the only one carrying the ball. If it's going to be a share situation, don't bother with Rashad Penny. Just get Collins if you can because he is available. If not, just let that Seattle situation go.
Yeah, what's funny with all these running backs and all these, 6, 7 teams on bye week? It's
6, yeah.
There's a lot that are on bye. if you are one of those top teams well above 500 or even undefeated, if you have a bye week and you have one spot open, you could probably go ahead and just accept that tight end spot or that even the defense spot. Leave it blank. If you're
Yeah,
so deep
if you're sitting at the top of your league right now, this is not going to be a good week for you, because I guarantee you're taking a hard hit, 4 or 5, even more players with the teams that are on bye week this week.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's like I don't know of anybody who's ran the table in the season and then won the championship, didn't lose once. You're going to lose some games. And
Okay.
there's no reason to give up your bye players, just to throw them down. No, just keep it the way it is. Fill your roster the best you can. And you know what? If you have 6 players on bye, guess what? You'll probably never have to change anybody out. You'll just take this loss and continue to
Take the
win.
L and move on.
Yeah, and you move on. It's fine. I'll probably do it. I'll probably have a spot where I'm like, I'm not giving up anybody. So, if you're 2-4, you might have to make some changes, or maybe somebody's not showing up and they finally did 1 or 2 weeks.
And we're definitely going to talk about drops. You guys have people on your roster right now that you can drop. I promise you do. And we're going to talk about some of those drops after we talk about these ads.
Yeah. I want some more ads. I want.
Yeah, let's do it. So
I'm playing. You know who? Oh, let's go this way. This guy over here this week. So it's not that I don't have much for you. It's just I don't want to pick up any. It's not worth the drop.
Yeah,
I'm playing the
you
host.
go ahead. I think so. For Team Roop over there, I think he should drop everybody he needs to fill this roster with as many scrubs as possible this week. For the rest of you, don't do that.
I love it.
Tony, hey, we told you as we move on to wide receivers, Tony, we told you not to bother with him. We didn't know he was going to get hurt. We just didn't think he was going to put a big stat line. And we tell you the things that we told you not to brag about how we're doing, is to add credibility and let you know there is a reason we are almost 90% for our waiver wire ads. We're not trying to puff our chest. We're trying to let you know that we are here to let you win, and we are putting out the information to do so. So when we say these things, don't get upset at us. We're trying to let you know that we've got the info that you need, that you want. Tony, he's not going to play next week. They've already said he's out for next week. So you could drop him, because by the week after that, Shepard's going to be coming back. Galladay is going to be coming back, and they're going to be fine again. So you can actually, when you're freeing, looking for drops, looking for places, you can go ahead and drop Tony. You can do that. Julio Jones is running day-to-day right now. That tells me that he's probably going to be ready to go. If you need him on Sunday, with all the bye weeks, you probably are going to need to play him, and he should be fine. But keep an eye on it this week to see if he's going to come back. However, getting into people that you should be adding, should be looking at, I'm going to start at the top and kind of bounce around. This isn't my top guy. This is my number 2 guy, but Daryl Mooney is available in 45% of leagues. We've been talking about him all year. He's been slow to start. He's had a week or two, but he leads the team in receptions right now. They got Tampa Bay next, who's just letting receivers go crazy. They're 23rd worst in the league. They gave 301 yards to Brissett a couple weeks ago. They gave 26 points to Jalen Hurts last week, and the receivers paid Zach Ertz mostly in the Phillies situation, even though they did kind of spread it around. But you can throw on Tampa Bay. Even Justin Fields can throw on Tampa Bay. Daryl Mooney is going to be the guy catching the ball. After that, San Francisco, 18th worst in the league and going down. Pittsburgh, 28th worst. Very surprisingly, Pittsburgh is 28th worst in the league against wide receivers. Good run defense, but their pass defense, and that's due to injuries. So keep an eye on people coming back by the time they get there. But Mooney, fantastic ad this week if he's available in your league, and in 55% of leagues out there, he is.
Yeah, he's actually got some really great matchups, especially at the end of the season when, it's playoff time. Because I was looking, because I do have some Chicago quarterback, which was really sketchy at the beginning of the year, on my team. And I'm like, I'm keeping him on my bench because I think he's going to progress and get better and better and better. They already have the connection. I think by the end of the season, around playoff time, that's when you can really stick him into your lineup and have a little bit more confidence because he is hit and miss right now. But we are talking about him. So
Yeah.
there's a couple weeks passing by. If you're not, if you need wide, even if you have a spot on your bench, it's like he can ride the bench for a while. Do it that way. But the bye weeks are coming. They're here. They're going to stay for a while.
And
they're going to cause you issues and headache. Put them in.
So another name that you're going to hear. So one of our big things is you can listen to fantasy shows all day. You can watch them on ESPN. You can listen to them on XM. You can listen on Sirius. You can go to the site. And what you find is a list of all the same names. And when you go and you do the research and you do the data, you see that some of these names should not be there, but they're there because of simple situations where a starter goes down, so they tell you to put someone else in, or I swear they just copy each other sometimes. We get in there, we do the work. So one of the names you're hearing this week is Peoples Jones. All right, now Peoples Jones is interesting. He's another one of those guys that under normal circumstances, I would say be careful, shy away from. And I'm still saying be careful because we know that Mayfield has this dislocated left shoulder. I would be very surprised if he makes it through the whole game, but this is the NFL. They've got the magic stuff to keep people in, and so maybe Mayfield stays in, but even he admits he's not 100%. Last week when he played with through the dislocated shoulder, he wasn't 100%. And so if you're not 100%, now Peoples Jones, amazing week last week, and people were looking to see what was going to happen, and he put up the numbers. He showed out and showed up. Thursday game, we love our Thursday players because they're putting up points. Denver 19th against the pass, so there's room to win in that situation, and everybody else is injured. There's not going to be an OBJ there. There's not going to be a Landry there as of today. So he's still going to be the number one guy. Does Denver want to D up on that? Yeah, but they still got to cover other guys, and people were D'ing up on Peoples Jones last week, and he still had success. So Peoples Jones, one of those guys that normally I would caution you against, and I'm not cautioning you against him this week. I'm saying use caution, understanding that Mayfield is hurt. However, with the matchup, with playing on Thursday, with the fact that there's 6 teams on bye week, Peoples Jones is someone you could go after. Be careful. A lot of people are going after him because all the fantasy shows are saying Peoples Jones, Peoples Jones, Peoples Jones, and that causes people to spend fab dollars. So if you're new to the show and you have spent too much money, too much fab dollars on players that you shouldn't have been playing, then you might be a little short. You might lay off Peoples Jones because, again, we have other picks for you rather than Peoples Jones this Thursday.
He is an exciting pickup because he is going to be the guy. You're right. The quarterback's hurt. He might.
You see it on paper. He's exciting. Absolutely. Yeah.
He might get the juice. Here's the problem with it. As I look it up, he caught 4 for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was beautiful last week, but wasn't one of them like at the end of the half where they threw a bomb and
they threw a Hail Mary? Yeah, the Hail Mary like 59-yard Hail Mary. It's fantastic. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Well,
got it. Great.
He's got 3 catches for 50 yards. Like that's how I break down some of these big time plays. So
you got to pull out that top one. You got to pull out that
at least
longest one. We do that every week. We do that for you guys to give you the realistic numbers. We do that.
Temper it. I mean, there's somebody on your if you watch the show, if you are paying attention and you need him, there's a problem. We're just like temper your expectations on this one. It's he could go off and sure, that's wonderful, but are you really giving up the fab dollars? Are you really gonna,
that's the problem here.
With a hamstring injury, Julio Jones. I actually have a question for you because I searched it. Devonta Smith or Mooney, what we've been talking about. Who would you want on your team?
We're going to get into that because we're going to talk about the players you can drop. And spoiler alert, Devonta Smith is on that list, all right? Mooney has only had a couple good games, but Mooney is set up. And we're going to talk about how Devonta Smith is not set up. But Mooney is set up with Tampa Bay coming up, with San Francisco coming up, with Pittsburgh coming up, all bottom half, again, Tampa 23rd, San Francisco 18, Pittsburgh 28th worst against the wide receivers. So Mooney has the opportunity. Devonta does not, and we're going to get into that coming up later in the show when we get into the drops. So Mooney, yes. Peoples-Jones, yes. Just understand these things. Watch the other receivers to come back. Biggest thing to watch is Mayfield and this injury because he's not going to be able to sling it like he used to. A lot of underneath routes. PPR might be really good for Peoples-Jones. We'll wait to see if touchdowns and yards are going to factor into that. But PPR probably going to be pretty good with underneath routes so long as they have Peoples-Jones run them. This is a no thanks. You've heard a lot of shows today, ESPN sites, all that tell you about Bateman out of Baltimore. Finally came back, caught a whopping 4 passes for 29 yards. 29 yards over 4 passes, not a great average, guys. 7 fantasy points, but it's his first game back. We'll cut the kid some slack. Second interceptions on the team behind Hollywood, so they want to use him. The coach is talking him up. But they got Cincinnati next. Cincinnati's number 7 against wide receivers. They've proven again and again that they can hold wide receivers down. They're going to key on Hollywood, and that's going to leave Bateman nothing but covered. I don't like Bateman, at least for next week when you're trying to replace bye week players. You're trying to get these fillers that are going to be quality fillers. Bateman, to me, no thanks. I'm telling you no. We'll see how it counts against the average. I think I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think he's going to chalk up our average a little bit.
I'm going to keep this one real simple. Bateman's not going to help your team. He's going to help Lamar Jackson. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to grab a quality pickup, and I love this puck, actually, let me run through some more of these no thanks real quick because I love my last 2 picks. And I'm going to keep you in a little bit of suspense. I swear I'm going to be fast. I'm not going to waste your time. We'll check it out. Gallup, a lot of talk about Gallup coming off IR. Fantastic. Gallup's coming up. And the only people that Gallup has in front of him is Lamb, Cooper, Wilson, Zeke, Pollard, and Schultz. Those are the only guys in front of Gallup. That's it. That's all you got to worry about, Gallup. Come on, guys. Look, he's coming off IR, and Dallas is balling right now. He's going to be lucky to see the field except for 4 receiver situations. He's going to have to beat Wilson out for the job now, and there's still all these other guys to catch the ball in front of him. Gallup is not going to be somebody you're going to want to pick up, especially now just sitting there taking up a roster spot. At least come out and let him earn the spot on your roster the same way he's going to have to do with the Cowboy. Gallup, no thanks. Hardman, a lot of people talking about Hardman. Hardman's coming. Hardman had a great game. Let me tell you the secret about Hardman. If you go in and you do the research about Hardman, Hardman can produce for you, but he only produces against top defenses, not against the weak ones. They have a great schedule coming up. They've got a great schedule coming up for defenses. That tells me Hardman not going to do well. When they played, he went 5 for 8 against Baltimore. He got a touchdown against the Chargers. Did great. He does good against the top ones because they got to cover Hill, they got to cover Kelsey, and that leaves Hardman open. When they play these light defenses, Hardman's easy to cover, and that's when you see Hill and Kelsey excel, so you don't need Hardman. So these matchups coming up, Hardman is not going to work for you. He's not going to be your bye week pickup. Don't go to Hardman this week. No thanks. St. Brown, if you watch the shows and you check the sites, you're going to hear St. Brown out of Detroit. He will get you some points in PPR. Let me preface this by PPR. He is getting double-digit points, low double digits, 11, 13, but during this bye week situation, that can help you. So I'm not telling you no if you need him and there's no one else available with St. Brown. What I am going to tell you is he got 1 point versus Baltimore. He's got the Rams coming up next. And he has no touchdowns all season. None. 0. So maybe some PPR points with the yardage and the receptions, but for me, no thanks. All right. So let's get into the picks. I told you I'm excited about these guys. You guys have heard them. The shows are a little bit right. They're not always wrong. I'm not telling you the shows are wrong. I'm just telling you they all just repeat the same information over and over and over without giving you a chance to analyze the data. You don't have to analyze the data. We'll do that for you, okay? Number 2. I'm going to count them down. Number 2. Number 3 is Mooney. Number 2, T.Y. Hilton. Did you know he's back? Because if you didn't know he was back, he's back. 4 catches, 80 yards. That's 20 points of reception, people. If he catches more than 4, look, he's not going to get 20 points of reception all day, every day. But here's the reason you want Hilton. Number one, we talked about Wentz. The next 2 games at least, great matchups coming up. This is why you want Hilton. Paris Campbell just got put on IR. That means more receptions for Hilton. All right. Taylor's balling. Wentz has some great matchups. Check the data because we did. You're saying Carson Wentz. So was I. Carson Wentz, over 20 points a game. Did it again this week. Then he got 21 this week. And he's got the next 2 games, fantastic matchups. T.Y. Hilton, San Francisco, 13th against wide receivers and falling. It's because they had such a light schedule. They did great at the beginning, and then they got a bunch of injuries, and they're getting worse and worse and worse against wide receivers. Then they play Tennessee, worst pass defense against wide receivers in the entire league. All right. Then they play the Jets. Sit them for that one. Jets have the best pass defense in the entire NFL right now. Go ahead and sit Wentz, sit T.Y. Hilton for that one. Then bring him back for Jacksonville, who has the 19th worst pass defense in the league. T.Y. Hilton, number 2 pickup this week. He's going to get you games. You're going to pay for him because people are talking about him. He's worth the money because you are going to be able to use him all season long, as opposed to some of these other guys who are just going to fill in on a by schedule basis, streaming basis. Love T.Y. Hilton. I'm telling you, go get him.
I kind of love T.Y. Hilton because he's probably, like I said before, this is what we go deeper in, is he's not on that first page on your laptop when you're searching for players.
Because he was hurt. Absolutely.
When you're drafting, that first page is where you need to key in on. But this is a little bit different. This is a pickup. He's not projected high. He's way back. What is he? He's ranked 132 in the league because he just
so deep, so unwarranted.
Yeah. So just think about this. Like, if you're hurting for a wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton might actually be the guy. And I mean, he's a little sore because he just came back. Everything's a little tight. Probably had an ice bath, a hot bath, shower, everything, massages. But he should be there.
4 catches for 80 yards and he's sore. Imagine how good he's going to do when he feels better.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually do love that. If I missed that one, I did see him play, and I'm like, okay, he's back, but he also burned me a little while back. So I'm a little biased, but as you know,
Look,
I do
the
like
4 receptions is not spectacular. I understand that. The fact he turned him into 80 yards, that's what's spectacular. Excuse me, guys. So he's my number 2. He really should be my number 1 because he has longevity. He's going to play for a while, but so does my number 1. My number 1 pickup this week, go out and get him. Some of you already have him, but he's available. He's only rostered in 37%. There's 63% of leagues that don't have him on a roster, and to be fair, I kind of understand why. Number 1 pick this week is Callaway out of New Orleans. And you were looking at him earlier, and he didn't do very well. His last game before the bye week, he put up he went 4 out of 8 for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. He scored 25 points, and then he went on the bye. So now you've forgotten about Callaway. Remember about Callaway again, because they got Seattle, who's the 29th worst in the entire league against wide receivers. Then they've got Tampa Bay, who's 23rd worst in the league against wide receivers. Then they've got Atlanta, who's 17th worst against wide receivers, and it's New Orleans versus Atlanta. So we know how this goes. Then they have Tennessee, who's the 32nd worst, the absolute worst team in the league against the pass. Look, Callaway is set up for you to win. Callaway is set up for you to get points. Traquan is on his way back. He's ready to start practicing. So that's going to make a little more competition, and defenses won't be able to key up so much on Callaway, but it doesn't matter. These defenses aren't D'ing up on anybody. You got Seattle, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Tennessee. Come on. These are wins all day long right here. I'm not telling you he's going to carry your team, but he ain't going to hurt it. Go out there, get Callaway this week. If you can't get T.Y. Hilton, these are the guys, Callaway and Hilton. These are the ones that you want to spend your fab dollars on because they're not going to get you a week's worth of play. They're going to get you the next 4 or 5 weeks worth of play.
I absolutely hate the fact that you picked Callaway.
Because you're going for him and so is everybody else. I get it.
You know why? Because I picked Michael Thomas up, and I have him on my RR spot, and I'm loving it.
Weeks to go.
And you know what I hear? Verbatim, out for multiple weeks. Weeks away from coming back.
You know I got him sitting in an IR spot too, brother.
It hurts. It hurts. I was ready. I was like, this is the week. This is the one. And nope, not gonna happen. So guess what? Week 6, I was like, I'll suck it up. I'll pick him early or at a decent spot, and then week 7, 8, I'll start playing him in, let him get used to it. Well, guess what? It ain't happening right now, and it's a bummer because I went against the grain of what I normally do and don't pick up injured players or IRs or anything like that.
Too.
And I said, you know what? I need a good wide receiver. I don't know when he's coming back, and I'm worried about.
He may never come back. There's been a lot of speculation that he won't come back at all because he doesn't really want to play for him. So
if you shut off the show after I said I hate that pick, good for you. But in deep down inside, I really do love it. It's going
to pay off for you. It's going to pay off for you. Spend those fab dollars on Callaway. Spend them on Hilton. If they're not available, spend them on Mooney, and you can get Peoples-Jones for a week. Just be careful because Mayfield is not 100%. He's probably not even 60%. So we'll see. And they're playing a good defense this week on Thursday night. So little supporting positions, tight ends. You've been hearing Seals-Jones. You heard him last week. Seals-Jones again this week, worth a pickup. A lot of people are saying he's not worth it. They brought in another tight end. It doesn't matter. Seals-Jones is getting the volume. They've got Green Bay, who's 17th worst against tight ends. Then you're not going to be able to play him because we're playing Denver, who's 5th worst against tight ends. But again, that stream position, that bye week fill, Seals-Jones, great guy to add this week just to fill that spot if you have the space. Ingram is back. He's not putting up huge numbers, but he will get you some points for your bye week fills. He's got Carolina 15th worst against tight ends, Kansas City 28th worst, Las Vegas 31st worst. If you guys have questions, ask them. Let us know. We're here for that. If you missed part of the show, we'll recap it, but ask us again. We'll recap it. OJ Howard, a lot of people are saying OJ Howard because Gronk's hurt. OJ Howard did have a good week this week. No thanks on OJ Howard. They've got not a great schedule coming up. Philadelphia has only given up like 2 touchdowns to tight ends all year. Chicago has only given up 1. Next game, New Orleans, 0 touchdowns to tight ends this year. So don't believe the hype on OJ Howard. Brady knows this information. Brady knows where he can and can't go. This week, they knew that they could get some usage out of OJ Howard, but they know that they're not going to get usage versus Chicago and New Orleans. So again, Seals-Jones, Ingram, decent fillers at the tight end position, but that's probably about it. Of course, Ertz, if he's available, still go get Ertz because if you didn't learn, if you didn't know, it doesn't really matter that he's playing for Arizona. There's a reason Arizona traded for him. There's a reason they wanted him on their team.
That's what I said last week. I was like, Zach Ertz, pick him up. And I don't have the inside scoop. I didn't think it was going to get traded, which is really weird for fantasy.
Yeah, right.
Anybody knows.
Put up great numbers, and then they trade him like the night after. Like, hey, thanks for helping us. Thanks for getting big numbers for us. And yeah.
And you know what? I think he went to a better spot. I think it's gonna.
No, Arizona will use him, and they'll appreciate it.
But you know who else that helps? Dallas Goedert. He's on COVID right now. Maybe somebody dropped him. So right now, like if he's out there, which I'm looking at one of my leagues, he's there and he'll come back. COVID sometimes tends to linger. They might be a little tired, but if you're hurting at Las Vegas indoors, he might be okay. Might be a decent start. Watch the COVID, but he's worth a stash because now he is their guy. There's not going to be a competition now. So Ertz, Goddard are both worth the pickup if they're in your league. Even if both your tight ends suck, pick them both up and send it because I like that. Yeah,
nothing new on Goddard right now. They're still waiting. He's got to come up with two negative tests, but it's already been over a week or almost a week, and he's got all the way till Sunday. So I would expect him to be back. Maybe, some lingering fatigue issues, but it's the NFL. They'll juice him up and he'll be fine. So look, if you're still around or you're watching the recording on this, all right, this is what I call the loyalty lookout, and I just made that up as I was sitting here tonight. This is the one that kind of goes with my wide receiver pick because basically the schedule that New Orleans has is ridiculous. And so if you are still around and you're looking for a quarterback, if you're to get that filler and you're trying to get a few games out of them, Jameis Winston, go grab him because we already know he can put up points when he's in the right situation. Talk about the right situation. Again, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Tennessee. These are all horrible, horrible pass defenses, some of the worst in the NFL. Seattle's 29, Tampa Bay 23, Atlanta 17, but it's Atlanta and we know what happens there. Tennessee, absolute worst in the league. Grab yourself some Jameis Winston. Grab yourself some Callaway. Taquan is ready to practice. When he comes back, grab yourself some Taquan. And even Lutz is about to come back at kicker. So if you need a kicker, you can grab Lutz in a couple weeks. New Orleans is the team to watch. This is my loyalty lookout. If you guys are still around, if you guys stuck it out to the end of the show, New Orleans is the team to grab over the next weeks. Their schedule is absolutely ridiculous, and I expect a lot of points to come out of New Orleans in the next week. Next few weeks, next 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah. They're 4, yeah. Probably the rest of the year.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Heal up and come back for the playoffs and just go off. That's all I ask. 40 points a game. It's fine.
So if you're still with the show, send us your questions, send us your comments. If you need to know some positions we already put out, please let us know. We got Barry who said, would you dump Jacoby Myers for T.Y.? I would jump Jacoby Myers for T.O. at this point, but definitely for T.Y. I know, like, Myers has done the work. He's put up some points. He's done well for you, but it's time to move on to a real producer, and that is T.Y. Hilton. If you were around for the receiver part of the show, let me pull up my notes. T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell just got put on IR. More points for T.Y. San Francisco coming up. 13th worst against wide receivers and actually going down. That's an inaccurate number, to be fair. Tennessee, after that, worst pass defense in the NFL. You'll sit them the week after that against the league's best Jets, but then you'll bring them back for Jacksonville. So he's going to get you points, probably a good amount of points in 3 of the next 4. I would absolutely bring in T.Y. And that's not just because of T.Y. That's because Wentz has these matchups as well. Wentz is putting up over 20 points a game. Mac Jones is putting in low teens per game. Mac Jones isn't playing bad. It's just his first year, and Belichick's bringing him along. Nothing wrong with that. But Mac Jones is not putting up points. I think his highest point total this year might be 16 points, 17 points. Why keep Myers when you can have with a low teen quarterback when you can have him playing with Wentz without Paris Campbell against 3 out of 4 really great matchups. So would I jump Jacoby Myers for T.Y.? I absolutely would.
I would as well. I think T.Y. is just gonna. The speculation. It's what I think.
Yeah, but we're almost 90% on what we think because we do we run the numbers for you guys. So if he worked out so far,
2-3 touchdowns a game. Yeah, exactly. If he was throwing 2-3 touchdowns a game, I would agree. But Wentz is just doing a little bit better. It's just all there is to it. He's a rookie, so pass it.
Yeah, that's all it is. So in order to fill these spots, and this is the problem with the 6-team bye week, especially when they're talented teams, is you have to drop people. The good news is you have likely, like myself, have been hanging on to people hoping that they would do better than they've done. You brought up Devontae Smith. I've got him on multiple teams. After this week, I will likely not have him on multiple teams. He's just not getting it done. He got 2 targets versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, 23rd worst defense. Wide receivers are feasting on Tampa. He got 2 targets. He's had 1 touchdown all year. He's had 1 game over 77 yards. I love Devonta. I think he's going to be great. He may mature and do better, and there may be a point later on in the season where we're like, okay, now's the time to grab Devonta, just like Callaway. We've told you Callaway wasn't worth it, and he wasn't until week 5, and now coming back with the schedule, now is the time to grab Callaway. There may be a time to grab Devonta Smith. Now is the time to drop him. Get him off your roster. Make room to fill these bye week spots.
Yeah, I'm not really excited all the way up until their bye week and week 14.
Yeah.
It just, the chemistry might build a little bit. They'll figure some things out. If he stays healthy and the chemistry's there and he's still out there after week 14 bye, that's when you want to play him, because they're playing Washington, Giants, Washington. That's when he needs to be in your lineup.
Yeah.
But can you hold off for the next 7 weeks, whatever it is?
Where he's just sitting there holding a roster spot against all these bye weeks is not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and I love the guy. Like weeks before the draft, all my drafts, I was like, this is the guy I'm targeting. Late round, rookie, Heisman winner. It's going to be hit and miss. And what is it? He's got 19-3, 5, 19-14, 5. Like, you have to choose the right weeks to play him. Like 5 is not going to get it done. 5, you're going to get a lot. 19, it's going to help you out. So you got to watch.
But that's only happened like twice, I think. Like I said, he's only got 1 game over 77 yards. So I mean, it's unless you're in PPR, and again, you're going to have to stream him based on the schedule. And to me, just too much of a headache, too much work. Let me grab a T.Y. Hilton. Let me grab a Callaway and drop Devontae to do it. Mayfield, we talked about. Look, Mayfield, if you listen and you get in like we do for you, Mayfield, this dislocated shoulder is not the only thing he's dealing with. He is dealing with multiple injuries. He is getting a lot of praise that he deserves because he is so tough staying in there and playing. But look, the numbers are not there. If you're carrying with these injuries are going to catch up. If you're still carrying Baker Mayfield, even in a 2-quarterback league, I'm just telling you, because again, we've got Darnold with a decent schedule coming up, but we've got Bridgewater who has a fantastic schedule coming up. We've got Wentz out there. We've got even Matt Ryan right now has a fantastic schedule coming up. Mayfield's just not. I mean, the main portion of Cleveland is Chubb and Hunt anyway, and that's why the only reason Mayfield's getting the points is because Hunt's catching the ball and running. Now Hunt's on IR. Free up your spot. Let Mayfield go. It hurts. I got it. Let Mayfield go and go ahead and grab someone else of value. Naheem Heinz. That's another one. Had some great weeks. I know people love Heinz. I know it hurts. I got it. It hurts right here. Taylor is dominating at that position. He's catching the passes. He's getting the runs. Naheem is getting minimal usage right now. There's a reason Mac is leaving. You've got these big bye weeks coming up. You need to open up spots. Naheem Heinz is somebody that you can go ahead and feel okay letting go to pick up someone else that's going to actually get you points this week or any other bye week. Stop making him hold a roster spot for you. Stop debating if you're going to play him. And when's the last time you actually played Naheem Heinz? Let us know, because you probably had someone else that you played ahead of him. So why is he on your roster? He shouldn't be there. Devontae Smith at least has been playing. I've at least been putting him in. He's just not getting it done. So just like any other team, he needs to take a break for a bit. Maybe he'll come back later, get his head together. Jonnu Smith is a tight end you've been hearing about. Henry is clearly taking over that job. It's not that Jonnu's not going to get some work, but Henry is clearly the number 1 guy there. And it's New England, so it's always going to bounce around. You never know who's going to be the guy in any given week. So if you're hanging on to Jonnu Smith, waiting for him to break out, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen on a Belichick team. It's not going to happen with Mac. Not going to happen with Hunter Henry there, who's clearly a better tight end. Yes, Johnny Smith is probably the future, but Henry has definitely established himself as someone who still has it, and he's going to be the one Belichick uses because he needs reliability for Mac Jones to build confidence and stuff like that. He doesn't need someone else who's still learning the game and still learning the position. Hunter Henry knows what to do, and that's what Mac Jones needs to build his confidence and become a better quarterback as the years go on.
You know what's funny? Speaking of New England, and from the question earlier of keeping Russell Wilson, Cam Newton is having talks with the Seattle Seahawks. So he's available in some of the leagues. If you're
don't pick him up yet.
Don't pick him up yet. You don't have to spend bad
money. You have a team. Don't pick him up yet. You don't have a team.
I'm not going to check the news right now, but I'm pretty sure a couple hours ago he was not signed or anything like that.
No.
But pay attention that he is available, and as soon as you hear him sign and you need that quarterback, run in and grab him. But you know what? I wanted Cam Newton to play. I wanted to get picked up early. I was watching. I kept a roster spot on him on my bench for 2 weeks, just waiting for some news. So I go click and send it, and nothing yet. So he's having talks with the team. It's not really big news yet.
I mean, he's got it. Look, I've lost all confidence in him to this point, but he's got to be better than Geno Smith. I mean, come on, man. I'll put you in over Geno Smith. I'm just telling you right now, I would. Some other drops, Rondell Moore. Again, we told you not to touch him. We told you to leave him alone. It's okay. Maybe you went after him anyway. No, not a big deal. That's your pick. 1 touchdown all year. One of the last 4 with double digits, and that's in PPR. In PPR, you're not getting double digits in the last 4 games, except one time in the last 4 games. He's gotten more than 3 catches once in the last 4 games. Let Rondell Moore go. The ship has sailed. It's time to cut the ties. And the other guy, and this is the one that hurts the most because I'm carrying him as well. I understand. We've been waiting. It's not going to happen. A-Rob, Allen Robinson, it's time to let him go. You've got your bye week fills. He's not doing it. He's not putting up the points. And with all the catches that Mooney is getting, he's not going to. He may have a game or two. They've got some defensive. They got obviously a quarterback who's learning how to do it, and he's learning with Mooney because honestly, and look, I'm going to put this on it right now. You can stand. Mooney is a better receiver than A-Rob. He is. He gets open more. He makes better catches. Mooney's going to steal that job. Watch for A-Rob to be on another team. Probably not, because you'd like to have two talented wide receivers. If they get something for A-Rob, that would be something. But it's nice to have both of them there. But Mooney is going to surpass and be wide receiver 1. Really, he already has because he leads the team in catches and receptions and targets. So, again, people you can get rid of: A-Rob, Naheem Heinz, Jonnu Smith, Mayfield if you're hanging on to him, Devontae, got to go. Rondell Moore, time to go. Shouldn't have picked him up in the first place. And there are others. If you need to know, if you have questions, if you're not sure, ask us because we're more than happy to tell you. But you can make space on your roster if you're in a 12 or better team league. If you're in a 10-team league, it's going to hurt. You're going to have to drop some talent, but it's fine. It's a 10-team league, and there's plenty out there.
There's always going to be talent, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Are we ready for some college chaos? I'm getting
Hold on. I need to take a breath. I need to, because it's time for some college chaos. It's time to get crazy. It's time for my second favorite part of the week, rather than talking about NFL and helping you guys win. It's time for college chaos with Mr. Roop. There it is at Mr. Fantasy Football Today. Let's go.
Oh my God, are you ready for this? So check it out. Welcome to the top 25, Purdue, because they beat Iowa 24-7. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Fantastic game. Fantastic game.
I don't know. I told you a couple weeks ago that Penn State should beat Iowa. And I said, was it last week? I said they lost their quarterback.
You actually did. So you only made one upset pick officially last week, but you did pick that game 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to give it to you as a win.
Yes, exactly. Because if they didn't lose their quarterback, they would have won. And I'm not making excuses. The loss is a loss. It's over with. Got it. But this just shows you that Iowa State should have lost. Sorry, Iowa. And they did. And you know what?
Yeah.
Welcome to the top 25, Purdue. Congratulations. I did talk about
Is
Auburn
every team in the Big Ten officially in the top 25 now? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Probably. I know there's 5 of them in the top 10.
I joke, but it's kind of ridiculous the lopsidedness that the Big Ten is carrying right now.
It's not the SEC, so
on the top
fine.
25. It's kind of crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, I didn't pick them, but I did make it. I actually rewatched the show and I double checked to make sure. I did say Auburn over Arkansas. I was like, I'm not gonna do it, but guess what? It happened.
Auburn took Arkansas down. Arkansas just reeling from that loss. They couldn't believe it, and yeah, they just can't get their stuff together.
Yeah, but like I said Baylor would beat BYU.
You absolutely did, and I watched that, and I was like, yep, he definitely called that. You 100% got that.
Yeah, so I'm ready to get into the upsets this week because I failed our fans last week because I only went for one because I just wasn't proud of it. You know, it's like
well, look, we're not one of these shows that is trying to tell you how to bet. We're not a betting show. So we're not telling you to bet on these upsets. We're just telling you, I got a feeling. And, you know, they've paid us. Sometimes they've paid off. I think you're sitting at 50-50 right now, somewhere around there, 60-40, something like that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. You know, and it's funny because I had a feeling Purdue would beat, you know, but I'm not going to say it because that was just way too far out there. Like,
no, I hear you.
You know, whatever, you know, Iowa, you're right. You're still right there. It's funny that you're still like a 9 or 11 or it doesn't matter. But
so right off the top, we got to preface this. No real big games this week. Nothing huge going on. I mean, there's good games this week, but number one's not even playing. Iowa's not playing. Michigan State's not playing. I mean, Iowa's technically number 11. So, but you know, 3 of the top 11 aren't playing. You've got 6 of the top 25 not playing this week. I don't think there's a single ranked versus ranked matchup this week. So there are good games out there, but there's not this big ranking rocking game that's going to happen. So, however, that doesn't mean there aren't a chance for some upsets. And tell us where these upsets are going to happen.
This is the best part. We led off with college chaos with welcome to the top 25 Purdue. Guess what? Goodbye to the top 25
Goodbye
Purdue. Wisconsin is going to upset Purdue. Just saying.
Wisconsin over Purdue. He's called it. I'm going to disagree with you. I think Purdue's rolling right now. I think Purdue's feeling good about themselves. I think they're going to come into that game with a lot of confidence. I believe it is at Purdue. So I'm going to take Purdue at home. I expect Wisconsin to give them a game, but I'm going to take Purdue at home.
Purdue. Okay, so we got our first thumbs down.
That's the first one. I'm not thumbs downing. I'm just taking the other side. I would never thumbs down.
That's all I need. I just need a thumbs up, a thumbs down. That's fine.
All right.
You know what? The upset's going to happen. Hello, goodbye, in and out. It would be good. Double cheeseburger, in and out. That's what I want. But you know what? We're fine. We're going to move on. We'll see. UCLA upsets number 10, Oregon.
What?
Yes.
What did you just say?
Yeah. Oh, it's getting better. Trust me. It's going to get way better. Unranked
UCLA over Oregon. I love this pick. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm definitely going to hop on it because I want it to happen. I actually don't want it to happen because Oregon beat us, and so I need Oregon to perform well, but no, I want it to happen. So I'm with you on this. Look, UCLA is 5-2, Oregon's 5-1. I mean, that's basically the same record just because UCLA had another cupcake game. This is an even matchup on paper. I love this pick. Tell me what's going on.
Okay. Some of these games are flukes. Some of these games, like somebody tripped up. I mean, Alabama lost when their defense decided, like, hey, we all partied last night. we're all hungover, whatever the case. I'm not saying everybody was drinking. I'm just saying like something happened to their secondary that changed and they ended up losing. I'm just saying.
Started reading their own press, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's that pick. I got more. I'm feeding you.
You got a little ground to make up, so this is good. I like this. This is good.
Clemson's gonna upset number 23 Pittsburgh.
See, I was gonna come in at the end, and I was gonna be like, you know what? I got one this week, and that was definitely mine. I think I also believe that Clemson is going to upset Pittsburgh. I absolutely believe that. True.
College Game Day is talking about Pittsburgh. Pitt just all this offense and people can't handle them. I'm like, what about Clemson? They still have defense, right? Like let's not say Clemson's not going to lose another one. They're not going to be. I don't know.
Look, Clemson, they're having some issues, and we know this, and it's okay. It's okay, Clemson. It's going to be all right. But I think they can handle Pittsburgh. I think they can.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so we got a couple of. Oh, here we go. USC upsets number 13 Notre Dame. OMG.
Wow. You know what? I'm on it. I'm with you on this one. I'm going with it, and I think it could definitely happen. I'm not going so far as saying it's going to happen. What I'm saying is I'm giving you the thumbs up. I'm giving you the go on this one. USC.
I'll take the thumbs up. See, here's the thing. In the middle of the year, some teams start to get relaxed. I mean, Notre Dame had a couple of close games where they could have lost.
And didn't they have a loss? They had the loss to Cincinnati. To Cincinnati, absolutely.
Yeah, which makes Cincinnati number 2 for some reason. Don't even started on that.
No, actually, they didn't get number 2. They got number 2 after they beat like unranked UCF or some crap. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, like we talked about last week. So Cincinnati can beat Oklahoma, Alabama. Who else is
Alabama? Yeah, Cincinnati can beat Alabama. That's what the rankings tell you.
That's what the rankings are saying. I can't wait till the real rankings come out. Yeah, okay. Here's a team.
We got one more week for that. Is this the last week before the rankings come out? I'm not sure.
I have to double check that. I don't know. I was going to research it, but then I just kept on living my life. And
absolutely.
So here we go. We got a couple more. Miami upsets number 18, NC State. Because Miami has had a couple of bad weeks.
Well, the thing is NC State only got ranked because of that win. Yeah, okay, I'll hop on board with you with that one. Yeah, I'll give you the thumbs up on that one.
Okay. And remember when I said, oh man, an hour and 12 minutes ago, let's say, that I had something special for you. And don't worry, I'll feed you, baby birds, because here it is. This is all about the military week. The military. You see that? That's the Army, baby. And that's where we're going to start. Army upsets number 16 undefeated Wake Forest. We're going all out this week. It's chaos. And I might as well just throw it all in the bag. The kitchen sink, it's coming out. Is Army going to upset undefeated Wake Forest in the ACC? Oh, my God. Army screwed.
November 2nd is when the rankings come out, so we still got a couple weeks. You are taking, oh Lord, you're taking Army over
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. Yeah, I'm not going to sign on this one. I'm going to thumbs down this one. I am an Army guy. I love the Army. I
hope I prove like this section is what I hope I prove the most because it's so much fun because all the military is playing this week against a ranked team, and don't research anything. Don't look up. No. Don't do your homework yet. Just pay attention. Okay. So Army's going to win, but they're not the only military out there. We got Air Force. Air Force is going to upset number 22 San Diego State.
You know what? And Air Force definitely, I think Air Force kind of puts together a better squad. Air Force is 6-1. San Diego State is undefeated at 6-0, but that's basically again the same record. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Air Force over San Diego State. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I picked it because all the military are playing against a ranked team. And
Okay.
so I had to spill the most exciting one last. Navy is going to
Yeah.
upset number 2 Cincinnati. Let's go, military. Sweep the board.
That's a
1-3.
big pick. Look, I don't say, oof, man. I'm not gonna co-sign on this one, and I'm taking this from the perspective that, like, if I was gonna put money on these games, right? I look at all these picks and, like, would I put money on that? And I wouldn't put money on that. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying I don't feel confident enough that it could happen enough to put money on it. However, it could happen. I mean, Navy's 1-5, so they've basically sucked it up. They've done the worst out of all these military teams you're talking about. But I mean, why not? I mean, Cincinnati's got to get knocked down by somebody because this is ridiculous. You can't be ranked number 2 with the schedule that you have. So maybe this is the week that people realize that their schedule is a little too cupcake for everybody. However, I'm not going to sign. I'm giving you the thumbs down.
You know what happens in the middle of the season when the number 2 team gets caught sleeping? Because, I mean, Purdue beat number 2.
And it happens.
Iowa. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
number 2 is really not where you want to be right now, especially when you're falling asleep in the middle of the season when
you're right, because all these number 2 teams are losing. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I hear you.
We know who is going to show up for the Navy game? The fans.
Yeah. No, that's true.
You know why?
That's up there. That Navy.
Number 2. It's in Navy country. It's in
It
their
is.
house.
All these games are home games for the military. They're playing at Army. They're playing at Air Force. They're playing at Navy. So that is definitely an advantage. I want to sign on with this Army Wake Forest one. I just, again, would I put money on? I might put a tenner on it or something. But
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a mic, so I'm going to drop my pin. Is that how?
It's close enough.
I want to be more dramatic, but I can't. So I have 1, 2.
You just next time, just shut your laptop. Just be like,
yeah,
shut your laptop. Like, okay, Roop's gone. Like, that's it. He's done.
I would shut my laptop, but then I'm sitting here in shorts and a t-shirt and like just ready for bed. So
yeah.
I can't do that. But we have 8 upsets this week because I failed you last week.
You did.
Giving you like 1.
You went hard. You went hard this week. You went big.
I went hard. I was screaming. I want that chaos to happen.
But I signed on for 5 of them. I signed on for over 50%. I'm 5 out of 8. That's got to count for something. Hey, look, guys, we love having you guys here. We hope that you guys will come back. If you're watching this recorded or live, send us your questions, send us your comments. We are here for you guys. We want to help you win. And so far on waiver recommendations, we are just about almost 90. God, we are so close to 90%. I'm hoping that we get this 90% for you guys this week. But I mean, honestly, high 80s, 88%. We're killing it. We're killing it. I'm sorry. And we're doing it just for you guys. So come back, check us out, send us your questions, send us your comments. Let us know who you guys want to take, who you guys think should be taken, and we'll tell you if it's a good idea or not. That's basically how that goes. Other than that, thanks for coming out. Thank you so much, Mr. Rory. You're here every week, and we appreciate every single time and every single comment that you make, as well as everyone else. I'm Chris Fox. For my grand co-host, the greatest co-host in all the land, Mr. Roop. There it is. Check him out. The name is right there. Roop _there_it_is at Mr. Football Today. That's his Twitter handle. Hit him up. You can hit us up at yackingfootball@gmail.com. Please subscribe. You may as well if you're on the page, if you're on the group, and we are almost at 100 for the group page, which is fantastic. We're well over 100 on the Yakking Football page on Facebook, and we just love you guys and appreciate you. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. You guys be safe out there. Roop, there it is.
I have to go to sleep because my lineup's set because I'm going to beat the host this week. I'm going to beat them. It's going to
We
happen.
will find out. We shall
I-
see, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot of work to do on my rosters. You guys go work your rosters and rework those waiver picks, and we'll see you guys next week. For Roop, there it is. I am
Stay safe,
Chris Fox.
everybody.
This is Yakking Football. Let's keep yakking football, everybody. Thanks again, everybody, for showing up. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. There we go. I see. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Okay, cool.